for some apples and throw the apples to the bodies, and that they wake up and then laugh. So you could really, it would be a fantastic experience, I think. And be assured that you are here. And it would be nice if you could approve that at this moment, in this room, there's nothing about enemies, or that there's no evil principle in this room. And there's no thing that could make your body tense. So in this room, at this moment, if you open your eyes, if you examine the room, at this moment there's nothing to complain about. You can prove it by your mind that in this moment there's nothing, there's no life situation, let's say, there's no life situation, there's nobody standing in front of you with a knife or a gun or something else. There's nothing which is evil at this moment. And most of the people feel a lot of tension in the body, most of the time. So that's the most powerful insight, to learn to come more and more into the present moment, or to the now, to see that your tension in the body, most of the feelings you have in the body, your resistances have nothing to do with the present moment. It reminds me of a story of a young child who's waking up in the night and is 100% convinced that under the bed is lying a big dragon, a big green dragon with big red eyes. And he stands up in the morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, and he runs to his mother and says, "Mother, I'm 100% convinced that under my bed is lying a big, big, big dragon." And the mother says, well, the non-spiritual mother, let's say, says, "No, there's no dragon, go to bed." And then the child goes back to the bed. He's going into the bed, and 5 minutes later, he's 150% convinced that there's a dragon under the bed. And mother is lying in bed as well and hears her child crying, and the child comes again running, like if there would be a dragon under the bed. And the non-spiritual mother says again, "Okay, no, there's no dragon, go back to bed." And so, and this is repeating all the night. And at one time, mother says, "Okay, come to my bed," because she has enough It's for 5 o'clock in the morning, and the kid, because she knows when the kid is by my side, the kid could sleep. The non-spiritual mother shows in that case that there's still this illusion of a dragon under the bed. So the kid gets a kind of mother drug, and with this kind of mother drug, the kid could sleep. But the whole illusion of the dragon under the bed maintains in the body of the kid like tension. And with this expression that there's no dragon under the bed, my little kid, the mother shows the kid that what the kid's feeling is not right. But he's feeling that there's a dragon under the bed, or an evil person, or I don't know. So this two things is the child is learning with a non-spiritual mother. The first thing is that the child keeps the tension in the body, like anxiety. And the second thing is he hears or she hears from the mother that what she's feeling or he's feeling is not right. So at this point, the relationship of the child to itself begins to be a kind of wrong, or kind of weird, because a kind of irritated. The child is very irritated because the child feels something, and mother says, "No, you can't feel that." The spiritual mother, let's say that the child would have a spiritual mother, would react completely different. And the spiritual mother would react. The child wakes up in the night and thinks there's a big, big evil man lying under the bed, or a dragon, or it's something else which is very, very dangerous. And the child starts crying. And then mother comes, and mother asks the child, "What's up?" And the child says, "Oh, there's a big, big, big dragon under my bed." And the mother doesn't say, "There's no dragon under the bed." She says, "A big dragon. Incredible." What color has the dragon? Oh, I can't say. If I speak too much about the dragon would kill me. Yeah, I know. This happened to me as well when I was a child like you. But tell me, the color of the dragon, tell me, whisper. And the child in the bed whispers, "It's a red one. It is very red. It has big, big eyes," and so on. The mother says, "Yes. Oh God. I tell you a story. My dragon, when I was so young like you, I lived the same story, I had the same experience, and my dragon was black." And the child says, "Really? Black?" "Yeah, black, but it had a big head, and And it stinged a lot as well. And the child says, well, mine as well. He's stinking as well, really. And he's very hot, and and I can feel the fire which is coming out of his mouth and so on. And the mother says, yes, really. Oh, what shall we do now? And all this happens in this night. And the child says, I don't know, please take me in your bed so I'm safe. And mother takes the child into the bed, and they keep talking about the dragon, about this evil principle lying under the bed. And 1 hour or something like that it needs, and the child learns that mother had the same experience when she was young. And mother, 1 hour after, she says to the child, do you know how I got rid of this big dragon? And the child says, no, you can't get rid of him. He's so big, and so you would be destroyed if you do something. And the mother says, yeah, I know. I had the same fears like you. But do you know how I got rid of it? No, says the child. And the mother says, my mother, your grandmother, 50 years ago, or 40, or 30, depends on how. Depends in which country this occurs. She says, my mother and me had the same experience like you and me now, and do you know what we did? Yes, tell me. And then the mother said, my mother went with me to your sleeping room, and I waited in front of the door, and my mother got a torch and looked very carefully under the bed. Very, very carefully. And I stayed near the door so I could run away quickly if the dragon would appear. I could run really quickly out of the room, nearly out of the house. I could see the dragon's face or something, or his tail, I don't know. And my mother carefully looked under the bed, and she said to me, there's no dragon. And I was so scared as well, and I couldn't believe. And carefully I looked 5 meters ago from the bed as well. I looked and I saw that there's no dragon. Incredible. And do you know what dragons hate? Dragons hate mothers. That's why the dragon disappeared. Dragon hates mothers. So at the moment when my mother put the torch, the lamp, the dragon disappeared forever. And that's what happened to you now as well. And the kid says, really? It's incredible, yes, yeah. And the kid went nearer to the bed and looked under the bed and noticed there's no dragon. And the child felt a big relief at this moment, because two things got healed. His attachment or her attachment to the illusion of a dragon, of an evil principle, and the fear got healed at this moment, in the now. With the power of now, with the incredible presence of the lightning of the torch. A torch is the right expression for a light, yeah. The incredible light, or let's say consciousness, the light of the consciousness. Now in this story, it was real light of the consciousness. Mother put the torch on, the light of the consciousness, the power of now could erase completely the fear, and fear is nothing else than tension in the body. Fear is nothing else. The body gets dense, and that's fear. So and mother told the child a story that the child's ego could change the belief that there's no dragon anymore. So the light of the now, the stream of light and the consciousness erased the attachment to the illusion. Erased the attachment to the story of the dragon. And the story remained in memory of the child the whole life, but it became a very funny story. A very funny story, and maybe the child found the profession of being a spiritual teacher, and the child is talking about this story in his classes, maybe. Who knows? But this story became a very, very, very funny story, because the attachment, the fear, went. And this story is so interesting, and so easy to understand. And in this story lies all the secret of healing. The secret of healing to let the attachment to the illusions we are living in being healed through the power of the now. Switch on the light. And when the light comes, the dark goes. And that's wonderful teaching stories I find out at this moment. I never told it before, neither in English or in German. I'm wondering what's going out of my mouth, and it's a very nice teaching story. And that's what maybe others have told this teaching story as well, because everybody has lived this kind of growing up in families. Most of the Western people, people in Europe, were raised like that, had this kind of mothers. Most of the people in some countries may be different, but so this child with this spiritual mother learned two things: that what the child feels is right, and by just putting the switch of light on the consciousness, and to prove the fear which is inside the body with reality, to prove it, to examine, is that what I'm feeling? Has this something to do with reality? To prove it, and seeing, no, And that there's no reality in the now of the tension in the body to prove that. That's the power of now. That's the incredible power to release tension, negativity, heaviness in the body, out of the body, with the power of the present moment. Many spiritual teachers talk about the power of now and the present moment. And the present moment, the power, many people are not so comfortable with the present moment. And that's why it's hard to see for the people that the present moment is that moment which could transform what somebody is experiencing inside. The present moment is very hard to sell. If we speak about selling, or the present moment is a product. Let's say the now would be a product. It's a very difficult product to sell. Because human mind thinks that the now is evil. That the present moment or the life situation or is that situation to run away from. That's the normal reaction of everybody who's feeling heaviness inside or having bad times. And the ego is reacting most of the time and creating a future life in the head. A future life in the head, not a future life which is or kind of image of a better life situation, because the situation in the now doesn't feel good. It is, and the now, the ego feels the now as a kind of source, which is creating a life dream of a land, of a kind of possibility in which life would be better. And that's one of the functions of our mind, creating a film of a better life which has the source in the now, and the ego feels the now very negative, and the ego creates a better film. But this better film has future components, is all about future, is not in the now. So somebody who's dreaming the future in the now, and for most of the people the now is a big burden. And that's why the mind is creating a virtual future in the now, and some egos could feel a small or a short relief at this moment, The present moment is bad, feels bad, and the mind creates a future. The present moment is now I'm sitting here, the week, the course is going to its end. Oh, now it's time to say goodbye. We got to know each other in this wonderful week, and the mind creates, it could create, what should I do now in the weekend? Or in next week, or what do I do in the winter holidays? Or at Christmas. Many people think now about Christmas. Christmas is 2 months, and many people are thinking now, in the now, oh, I'm alone in this big city, and I need to find friends that are not be alone. Everybody has families, not me, not, and I'm sitting alone. And maybe this could one version of the now, which has nothing to do with the now. Or somebody could think, oh, I must celebrate Christmas with all my sisters and brothers, and oh God, I don't like Christmas. I should go to Africa, maybe to an island. Let's go. But it's November, and we are sitting here in the course now, and there's nothing about Christmas at this moment. So the ego creates new films, contra films, or you could name it like films, a film against the negative film in the now. But both the so-called future films and the negative films have nothing to do with the now. Because the now, at this moment, you can prove it. I hope that somebody wakes up now again. The now, the very now, at this moment, and you can get now into the now very quickly if you feel your feet or your hands. You get into the now, and then you can prove with your eyes the now, and you can see some candles there in the middle burning. The flowers you can see flowers and stones and some noise from outside. Somebody who are very present could hear the whispering of the trees, the wind. Some cars are going home because it's weekend. So there's nothing to complain about in the now. And nothing which is not in the room these life situations or outer circumstances, let's say, or your kids either, or your partnership. Many people are here alone without their partners. Partners are at home, yet waiting. Waiting for the big change. and your partner sitting at home as well. Oh, what will happen in the weekend when he's back or she's back? She made a spiritual course. Oh. On Monday I got some messages by her handy, and since Monday I didn't hear anything from her. When she comes or he comes back on Friday, I will tell her, I was very, very upset because I didn't know what you were doing the whole week. Maybe. Who knows? But all these outer forms, let's say, your partner, your kids, your so-called life situation, your job, your family, are not here in the room. Are not here in the present moment. Are not here, and everybody could prove it now by opening the eyes. There's nothing here. And that's again the torch of the mother, which turns on to see in every present moment that what's running around here in your head, which most of the thoughts which are running through your head have the source in your blockages. The blockages against the now, which are memorized in your physical body, in your energy, let's say energy field, in your attachments. So most of the feelings you have in the now don't have anything to do with the now, so they must be memorized blockages of the past. Must be blockages, resistances against the now of the past. And that's the consistence of every blockage, of every... In my book I wrote about black holes, let's say, black holes, or you could say blockages, or imprints, energy imprints, which are nothing else than contractions of the body, memorized in the body. And all contractions in the body were created because of building an opposition to the now in the past. So all this story, let's say our curriculum vitae of suffering, began in childhood, very, very, very early in our life. And depending on the outer circumstances in which we were raised, family, school, life situation, in which age we were born, in which some people are born in the 70s, some in the 60s, some in the 50s, some in the 80s. So every collective energy field, let's say, every generation had its own fights against the now, its own arguing with the fights. Every country has created rituals fighting against what is. And that is what we learned very, very early from our mothers and fathers, the kind of reacting of what is. We learned that by copying the reactions against the now of our mothers and fathers and with the people, our friends in school and so on, and we learned that physically because when we were a child, we were very, very bright and we were light, with not having so much resistances, or with not so much arguing with the now. Like a child, we were dancing the whole day, playing games, and very easy. And as we were a child, we didn't have this huge heavy energy field, resistance energy field, which is this ego, let's say. So, we didn't have this ego which is always labeling the outer world, or putting names on the outer world. She's like that, he's like that, and so on. I don't like her, I don't like him. And that's one of the functions of the ego, and because the ego gets its identity out of building up resistances. I think that he is like that, these groups are like that, these politicians are like that, the world is like that, I think, and the ego grows and gets a very, very ill feeling of identity through building up resistances. And if one is doing that, others are seeing that and are doing the same. They are creating opinions as well, creating resistances. And as we were a child, we didn't have any opinion. Opinions came in our life when we were 6 or 7. But before, we didn't have any opinion. We had wide open eyes, and we were very calm, lying in bed mostly of the time, breathing very deep. And if you watch child, how they sleep and how they breathe, you could see that they breathe so deep that the whole body is moving, like Baloo, so incredible. They breathe in the power of now, and in every cell of their bodies, incredible, connected. And when they wake up, some mothers see in the eyes of the child, and they feel like if they would look at the sun, at the warm sun, or see the big ocean in the eyes of the child. But what a mother sees is that her ego at this present moment in the now is melting away because of the non-ego of the child, because the child has no heavy energy field. And the child is laughing at the mother because the child doesn't feel a heaviness inside which is not yet created. And the mother, by seeing the laughing of the child, is connected to a small rest part, a small bright and light part inside her. And this part, at this moment when the child is laughing at the mother, is growing so big so that the ego body will hide away just for a moment, and the mother feels love. At this moment in the now, because there's nobody in front of her, which is saying, you are not right, you didn't do that, and so on. There's only one little child who's laughing at her, non-labeling her. There's still a heavy energy inside the mother, but at this very moment, she feels there's somebody in my life which is not labeling me, and that's my child. And for the child begins the drama in this moment. Because the mother, the not healed mother, let's say, wants to maintain this feeling. And the child begins, because the child is dependent on the mother, because the child gets food from the mother, let's say. It's a very reduced way of describing it, I know. But it is, in this age, it is, the child feels, the child's body needs the mother, and the child starts to create strategies to nourish the mother by laughing. And the mother, so it creates a kind of dependency, and the whole drama begins. Because at this moment, the child starts to copy the blockages of the outer circumstances, of the mother, of the father, starts to create strategies. And some adult persons find, because of that experience, find their life profession, let's say. They decide, many people have that, depends on in which job they are working at the moment, in the now. And many people create a film who's called I don't want to work anymore in this job. I want to work with children. I only want to work with children because the world of the adult people, of so-called adult people, is a very, very dangerous world. A world of fighting, arguing, discussing, I want that, you are not right, I'm not. And so for many adult people who decide to work with children, the real decision under that is to find a place in which they are not labeled, in which their ego is not so pushed. So healing is a lot about bringing the light into the attachments of our past blockages. Bringing the light into something which is not in the now, which is the past. The memorized blockages in the body, which we are carrying like a burden in the now. So that's the work we are doing. That means more and more coming into the now, getting more and more acquainted with the now, which is million times peacefuler and loving than big egos. No. In which lies happiness, which comes from to happen. Not from I need jokes to laugh, or I need films to laugh, or I need some concepts to laugh. No, I laugh because something is happening at this moment, so it happens. And that's real liberation, because of not needing circumstances to start to laugh, not needing something from outside. You will start to laugh without needing something, and most of the egos would call you crazy. He's laughing without hearing. He didn't hear a joke. He didn't put on the television. It's incredible how humankind has gained that the half of the population in the world is sitting at 8 o'clock in the afternoon in front of the things called television, staring. Incredible. Not being in the now, totally absorbed by a film which is running inside the body of the watcher of the tele, generated by another film which is playing in this. And from outside, if you would see him from outside, you could think, he's crazy. 2 films are running, and the now is running as well. That's madness. Complete madness. And everybody believes in that you need the television to get happy. Yeah, you need films to get happy. I need jokes. I need music to dance. You need, and because of everybody believes that, because beliefs come out of our negative blockages as well. Because everybody's doing that as well. So this whole machinery, the whole business, 99% of the whole business is working. It's working on that, feeding the ego machine. And then somebody gets enlightened, let's say. Somebody gets very conscious. And let's say he's sitting on the park bench in a big city, and many people are going by, passing by, and he's sitting there and he's loud laughing. It would take 10 minutes that somebody would call the emergency. Because they would think he's crazy, he must go to a mental hospital. He was laughing without watching the television, without hearing jokes. He must be crazy. He's laughing about himself, herself. He must be crazy. He doesn't take the world serious. He must be crazy. The Spanish people say, "Crazy, crazy." He must be crazy. Some German people say the same, crazy. Depends on their age. My grandmothers and grandfathers can't speak English. They say always crazy. Must be. He must be crazy. He is lucky. He is lucky. And it could be that many egos would find in this lucky person, would find an enemy. He's lucky. Why is he lucky? That's not allowed to be lucky. You can only be lucky with drugs. And many egos could feel laughed about. Maybe this one is sitting on this park bench, people passing by, he's laughing, and some egos going by, taking their lives very serious, and this one is laughing. Oh, ha, ha. The egos look at this laughing man, and these egos think, he's laughing about me. He's laughing about me. And if they would live at this moment, what the image inside are producing, they would take a gun, a knife, and would kill the light. That's could be one of the reactions of the egos. Also, it could be that when 100 people passing by, that one would ask, "Why are you laughing? Tell me, you're so happy." First I thought you were crazy. And then he says, "No, I made some process. I felt very, very sick later, years ago, and I started to work on me, and so on. And yes, oh, interesting. Interesting. Tell me how it works, and so on. And he or she explains about her. Yes, and then the one ego starts to learn that there must be another way of not needing so much to get satisfied, because that's one thing you could live or experience in future, that you are sitting on a park bench, maybe one day, and you watch the people passing by, and you see the people constantly arguing, or that they are not walking the way, that they are using the way to get to some point, that they are not here. And maybe you can play some games with the people, buying before some apples and throw the apples to the bodies, and that they wake up and then laugh. So you could really, it would be a fantastic experience. I think after 2 weeks you will get very famous in the city. Well, you will need some bodyguards, I think. So, but that's all about. So you see the people totally 100% trapped in their film of, I can't, the now, this way in the park now, is just a way to my work, to my job. I must hurry. And while being in the park, I still think of my next meeting with my chef, the chef with the super chef, and so on, and the chief is going, and the chairman, and so on. You're going in the park, and then you feel the apple on your head, and this moment you wake up. Oh, there are trees. Oh, the sun is shining. Oh, I still have the umbrella opened. Oh, the sun is shining. Okay, I can close the umbrella. Okay. If the apple wouldn't have reached his head, he would have gone into the office with the umbrella open. And then, because the umbrella doesn't fit through the door, he would awake. Oh, I had the umbrella open. Oh God, I didn't notice. I was so far away in my film of achieving the meeting or the aims of the meeting. So that is what you could experience in future if you get rid of your needings, of the mental, of the ego structures, which get nourished through your blockages, through your contractions, physically and mentally in the body. And you will see the outer world totally different. And that's not about laughing about the others. Again, a kind of opposition. That's not about, I'm so enlightened. Look at them, they are crazy. Again, creating tension in the body. I'm so enlightened. I know so much. I learned, I read a lot of books, and I added a lot of content into my mind, and I know that everybody is crazy. That's not enlightenment. That's building up another opposition to what is. So it's not about laughing about the others, it's about experiencing the world, embracing it with love of the present moment, because when you will sit in future on a park bench watching, or in the city on a bench watching the people in a way of not reacting, the people will notice it, that your body is not reacting, not creating oppositions against the people, and the people will notice it by just one view. They see you, and maybe they smile at you at this moment because they feel non-resistance. And if you experience that, you could be very, very lucky at this moment. Because this moment, when this occurs, it's the same moment like a mother sees her child. The child which is not labeling at this moment. And the people will notice that, and maybe some people will sit beside you half an hour later and ask you, you seem so relaxed. Why is it? Just tell me. Because you didn't build up an opposition against the evil world that many spiritual seekers love to create. Many spiritual seekers, still ego-based seekers, love to create oppositions. The world is bad, the world is evil, our world is that world. Create concepts of alternative living, let's say, which mostly are oppositions to the now, creating communities. Most of the communities, not all, but most of the communities are create oppositions to, are arguing with the now, with what is, how the world is. So create against an ego body, let's say. And that's not the way of the enlightened warrior, let's say. The two words warrior and enlightened don't fit together, but it has something to do with that. It must called it's the way of the inner enlightened warrior, let's say, to conquer the lands, the interior lands, the landscapes of your insides, to get rid of the resistances, the arguing with the present moment. And the present moment is everywhere, and in every cell, and the present moment is always here, at this moment. It's not, you don't need to search it, to seek it. It's always here. And what's time? What's time? What is a time? Time, what concept is time? So if you reach at the present moment, time doesn't exist. There's no time. There's no 5 o'clock, there's no 3 o'clock, this moment is no time. You can talk about time in photographs or in films or in experiences. That's time. It could be time, but you are not talking about time. You're talking about images. My father and me. My father is 80 years old. About a few weeks ago, we both laid on a sofa watching photos. My father is a passionate photographer, and he's very in love with all technical things as well, but he needs today 8 hours to put one chip into the television that you can see. Well, no, because all the technical things became very complicated. And so he made it, and after 8 hours he said, "Okay, now I'm finished. Let's start to see the photos." And we started, and we laid down on the sofa, and I saw wonderful photos of really. There was seen a boat in the summer, and 2 women cheering. With a glass of sect and champagne and drinking, and some other photos which are other people very good in very good clothes, maybe birthday parties or something like that. And they were celebrating in these photos, very funny situations and very good made. It was nice to see all these colors and so on, and 20 minutes, the photos went automatically after another, like a dia show. And there was an incredible stillness in this moment. We saw these photos, and And he was watching the photos, me as well, and some nice woman as well on the photos. And I thought of what happened when he took the photos. I thought a little moment, and nice man as well. And 20 minutes after, the stillness was broken. And he said, "Do you know what?" And I said, "No. Everybody you see on these photos has died yet. Nobody's living anymore." The photos were, I don't know, 30 years old. This sound, and this didn't sound heavy at this moment. He spoke that. And then 10 minutes later, it was again still. He said, "Do you know what?" He always starts with, "Do you know what?" Like children do. "Do you know what?" Children do this saying, "Do you know what?" My father as well, "Do you know what?" I said, "No." Stillness. "Most of the people die in bed." So there's lying a big piece in this kind of letting go. That's all the work about letting go. Letting go the past. He wasn't attached to the past. He said, they are all deaf persons, you see. Letting go. It's the past. It's not the now. And he took some chocolate at this moment. And I heard him, and he seemed quite satisfied at this moment. And maybe that's time. Time could be a collection of films, maybe, but it could be that's time. But time exists only in the mind of the people, of the human people, humankind, human beings. It's a concept. It's a very sharp instrument which could make the body tense a lot of time. Because time is that what lies between the present moment and which you want to be in the future, which is not in the present moment. And the time could create a lot of tension in your body, because when you think of time, it is like a torture to your body, because your mind wants the body on a different place, not in the now. And that is the danger of living in time concepts, that the body feels permanently a pressure. That's where stress is coming from. The word stress is, you are here in the present moment and you want to be somewhere else. And that produces a lot of stress in your body. And it's very easy to show. If you can help me. So now Jelena is standing here. Here's the present moment. And Nina thinks of tomorrow. what she needs to do, let's say, and tomorrow is you, and tomorrow the thought, that's the present moment, and then she thinks about her last friendship, let's say, or marriage, I don't know, the same moment. And these thoughts create a lot of pressure. And please pull the body now. And she's still in the now. And if you see, and that's what most of the people are living in this kind of pressure. So every future thought pulls your body in a kind of direction, and every past thought pulls the body into another kind of direction. You feel that in your body, and that's the wonderful concept of time, which is torture to your body in most of the situations. So stress doesn't exist. Stress is an illusion. There's no stress. There's only I'm in the now, but I'm arguing with the now, and I want to be in another place. That's stress. I don't want to be in the now. I want to be somewhere else. And to get to somewhere else, it needs time. It needs time, and to move the body, it needs time to move the body, and the mind knows that in the now, and the body reacts with stress, and wants to go faster to get into another now, in which the body or the mind thinks, I want to be in another now. So you keep running in your life. In Germany, there were one advertisement from a battery producer company. Mattel was and they were shown two puppies, no, how are they called? Puppies, no, puppets or rabbits. And both rabbits, one rabbit was a battery from another battery producer, and in the other rabbit were batteries from Duracell. And this ad was shown, and both rabbits had a drumming. And after a few seconds, it's clear, Duracell drummed still. And the life of the most people is in that speed. Always drumming. Always chasing for a better moment. Always chasing, running away from the present, chasing a better moment. Every reaction is all about that. And this could happen the whole life. And some people are running so fast, they stand up after tuitions, for example, and because now there's a lot of not of arguing with the present moment as well. there's one very, very clear, let's say, exercise. You stand up, you're arguing with the present moment, you don't want this present moment, you run out quickly, and you forget to open the door. At this moment, you will feel the hurt on your head. And in this moment, you are in the present moment. Because the hurt is so big, you can't think in this moment. Running out, forgetting to open the door. Oh. And for somebody, it could be a big relief to notice that the hurt is melting away. And they say, it's nice, the feeling when the hurt is melting away. I don't recommend this. But shows only that the outer world, let's say, could support you a lot to come back to the present moment. Through small accidents, through somebody crazy in the park who's throwing an apple to your head, somebody who can't wait in front of in big traffic, outer traffic situations, can't wait. And there are a lot of moments you can find in the daily life which help you to come back into the present moment. And it could be the ringing of the postman. It could be. And maybe the postman rings 5 times or 10 times, and at the 11th times you realize that that's your man for the whole of your life. And he needed to ring 11 times. And you think, if I would have been present more before, and if you think like that, you are arguing again with the present moment. So let life be like a postman, which is knocking. Oh, that's good, now it's coming. Which is knocking on heaven's door. Thank you a lot. It was a tribute to the English people, speaking people here, and see you in 10 minutes.